Hey everybody, hey Methodist Church and those who are viewing this right now. Hope everybody's doing good. This is Noah. Noah, you want to wave at everybody real quick? This is an interview for a Grad Sunday service, just in case you obviously were not able to attend, on physically, but even online. You can go on our youth group website, or you can go to the church's website, or even go to Facebook, youth group's Facebook, or the church's Facebook page, and you can see all three interviews by our graduates. So, hey Noah, so how is life out there in Corona, the era right now with COVID-19? You doing all right?
Yeah, man. Just trying to keep myself healthy, mind and body, as well as in the spirit as well. Just every day trying to read up a little more. I have a lot more time, so taking just a little bit of time to dive into the Word. It's just it's been less of a challenge to get that time in.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to that. Because I feel like God is definitely using this to slow us down, and help us to reconnect. Put things aside. You know what I mean? So it's for me. I can agree with you that it's definitely something to not waste, right? Not waste this time of connecting with God during this. So, what have you been kind of doing in the meantime? Are you in town, or are you kind of away?
Well, I went to visit my mom for spring break in Illinois, and everything started going down with the COVID stuff. It started getting more serious, and so my parents just said it'd be a good idea for you to stay there in Illinois just until this stuff dies down, just for safety precautions, as well as we didn't know if there was going to be any mass hysteria, so we didn't want anything to happen to my little sisters and my mom. So I was just, I was there for safety as well as protection as well.
So are you still able to kind of keep up with people in Brady? Because you are, some states away up north.
Well, yeah. I mean, today with the social media stuff, it's made it a lot easier to kind of connect with people and talk to them, especially if you're at a long distance. So I've been keeping up with my friends, and we've been all discussing our work that we've been having online. It's a lot of work now. It seems like more than whenever we were in school, but sure. We have more time, so it just kind of goes with that.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're safe, being way up there. And I know it kind of sucks not to be able to see family down here or friends, but when all this works out, it'd be good that you'll get a chance to give a couple hugs and good handshakes to people. And so,
yeah.
Well, hey, I'm going to ask you a few questions if you got time, and we'll kind of go from there with our interview. Now, just in case for anyone who did not catch your name in the very beginning, can you kind of give everybody what your name is, where you're from, and what school that you're graduating
from? Hi, everybody. I'm Noah Huffman. I'm graduating from Brady High School, and I live in Brady, Texas.
Awesome. So the big question that probably everybody may have asked you, or, you may have been thinking about, what's next after graduation? Do you even know?
Yeah. My plan is to, I'm joining the Navy, and I'm going to be a nuclear technician in the Navy. So I'll be working on an Air Force, or sorry, not Air Force, aircraft carrier, basically tending the engines and stuff like that. So it was a really good opportunity that I was blessed with, and very happy for it.
That's solid, man. Have you had training? Is there such thing as a training, or, can you give us real quick, a process and what you kind of have to do to prepare for all that?
Yeah. So I started off, I took the entrance exam into the military, that kind of places you where your ups and downs are. So you're really good at this, so we'll put you in this section. So I did really good on mine. Like I said, I'm a good test taker, so I was blessed by that. And then after that, I just go and sign papers and get that all figured out, get my job on paper, and then I'll get sent to basic. That'll be sometime this summer. And then after that, once I go through basic and pass basic, I have a 2-year kind of like a college course that I take in North Carolina. And so that's a 2-year deal of schooling to to then transfer into my actual job. So it's a 6-year
wow.
commitment instead of 4, which is the usual contract for military.
Gotcha. Sounds pretty extensive, but it sounds very thorough at the same time. Like you're able to do everything in increments, you know what I mean, to
Right.
get you prepared for where you need to go. So that's pretty neat.
Yes.
What, when it comes to your faith, you know, your faith formation when you're following Christ, uh, how has Jesus over the 4 years of high school, or you can even take it back to middle school, um, how has Jesus changed your life, at least from that point until now?
Well, man, I've been around the North Point transferred into 412 since I can remember. I guess it was 6th grade when I first moved to Texas, and you know, I was blessed that it was just kind of a random thing. I just saw some people. I lived right next to the building, and I saw some kids playing out there, and I just walked down, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on down here?" And at the time, I had gone to church and stuff like that, so like I knew Jesus and stuff, but I wasn't really deep in my faith yet. And I went down there, and they're like, "Yeah, come in. You know, this is a youth group." And I said, "Okay." And so went in there, and I've been with y'all ever since. And it's been a blessing to see everyone come in. You know, we've had people who had never even been to church and just come because someone invited them. You know, and they found their love for Christ. And I think that's changed me by seeing that, because it's like it shows how much God's love is, like how big it is. You know, it can be anybody from anywhere in the world, but they came there and they learned his word. And that's just a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, I would even say, which is very insightful for you to say. I really do believe that. But I think also, like, at least the time I've been with you too, I've seen the same thing. You know, the fact that like people we don't even know, students that we never even met before, you know, brand new people or people we've known for a little while, come to youth group and we got to see the Holy Spirit change them from the inside out. Now we may not have seen it immediately. Sometimes we did. Sometimes it took a while, but yeah, I totally agree, man. Like it shows how deep God's love is. Not even just to that specific person, but I think to anybody who walks in, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. So okay, so looking at it this way, you've had plenty of memorable moments from 6th grade all the way up to senior year of high school. So can you at least give everybody one of your funnest moments you can remember, any moment, and then a little bit of a serious one, like, okay, like how did this one impact me directly? So like one that was really fun, and then one like that impacted you directly.
I think a fun one was, I think it was our first kind of field trip almost. I mean, it's not school, but it was sort of the thing. We went and watched God's Not Dead, either the first one or
Mm,
the second one. We went and as a group, and we went and watched that. You know, that was fun. You know, I think I was in middle school at the time, 8th
mhm.
grade. So, you know, I got to hang out with high schoolers. So that was cool for me. I was like, oh yeah, I get to hang out with these high schoolers. I'm a cool kid now, you know.
I
And
think
so
that's
that
actually
was a
when
fun
we.
one.
I think that's actually when we met, right around 8th grade, going into your
Yeah,
freshman
yeah,
year. Yeah.
right around grade. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and then I think the most serious one, um, it was, I'm stuck between two. Um,
You can
it
share both
was
if
the,
you want.
yeah, yeah. I think it was your series that you had. Um, you are worth it. Is that what the, um,
Maybe I'm not for sure.
I,
You have to talk a little more about it.
okay.
If you.
It was basically just, knowing that no matter if you make faults, you know, you have mess ups in your life, that God's still there for you, you know, and he's always going to be there for you no matter what it is. And that just really touched me, because I felt at the time that I was kind of, you know, I was sad because I had messed up on something or whatever, and that just really helped me get through it. And I think that even helps more grow my faith in Christ. And then another one that was like super touching to me was, we went to Fields of Faith, and there was the man there who was diagnosed with, I think it was pancreatic cancer, and he spoke
Mm,
there. And seeing how strong his faith was. He had it was terminal, and it was fatal, and that's what he said there. And that was just, I mean, that had been the first time I had been in tears in a long time when I was there, because it was just to see how strong his faith was even in dark times. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say something on that. I think it's something to be said about when our circumstances change, right? How we act. I feel like when our faith gets tested, like when our circumstances deteriorate or when they kind of fall short, it almost seems like our faith will tend to do that. And so it is encouraging when you see other people's testimonies about how they make it through. And then it's like, okay, it kind of gives you this spark, you know what I mean? Of like, you can do it too,
Right.
So, well, hey, so let me ask you this question. I got two more for you. Well, actually three more. Why do you believe that student ministry, or why do you believe that youth ministry is important? Why would you say that is?
I think it's important because, one of two things, it was two things really. One, it makes it more fun for kids, because I feel like if kids go to church, they get kind of bored. They're sitting through service and they don't really connect with anything, because they're surrounded by adults. They're probably sitting by their parents, and they're just kind of zoned out on things. This kind of brings people that are of the same age together, and they can discuss it with each other, on, how their minds think. And I think that really helps people grow in that sense. And then another, I said that it makes it fun, so we do games and stuff like that. And then even those games that we played and we had a bunch of fun, that still ties into what we're learning that day. So then that gives us kind of, a kinetic learning. That's what I'm a kinetic learner. If I do it, I can learn it. And so that just helps you grow even more.
Yeah. Totally. So if you could like give advice to an adult, or if you can tell an adult how to help the next generation win, right? Or in other words, if you could tell an adult how to help the next generation, right, of young people, what would you advise them to at least do, or what would you may encourage them to hear you say?
Well, I mean, people are on the internet so much now. I mean, it gets to a point where it's kind of sad, but you can use that to your advantage. So, becoming more more adept to the online life, getting your word out there through that. I feel like that would really help spread the word to the next generation, because that's what they're on all the time. We have all these apps like the TikTok app and stuff like that. I see people on there all the time preaching the word, even kids preaching the word. And it's really touching, because they're using something that everyone uses nowadays, and they're spreading the word through it and spreading Jesus and God's love. So
that's awesome. Yeah. I would say I would encourage adults too, to at least try to attempt to use modern technology, because there's, you may not need to know all the perks in it, but if you just be able to know how to use it, you could definitely help, you know what I mean? Right. Okay. So before we let you go, we got to ask you 3 questions. And I'm asking them to you again, so you don't forget them. They're real simple, no pressure. It's what is your current favorite snack right now that you're crushing? What movie, brand new or old, whatever, what's the latest movie that you watched that you love? And what's your favorite music you kind of listen to right now, like a band or an artist? So to give you all of them, I'll give you one at a time. So what's the snack that you're kind of crushing on that you can't help but to not put down?
This sounds really weird, and I mean, I never really knew I had a love for these, but my mom has them at her house. Pita chip.
Hey.
I'll tell you, those things are addictive. And dip that in some hummus, man. Oh goodness. I mean,
I was against the whey for a while. But then I was like, let me try it. And it's like, I'm not addicted, but like, if it's there, I'm not going to go for it.
You're not going to eat it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so and what's the current movie that you've seen, whether it's old or new? What's kind of like, one that you recently saw that you were like, yeah, this was good. This was good.
Man, I just I was lucky to be able to watch the new Star Wars on Amazon.
Woo!
And man, that movie was so good. I'm excited for what Star Wars is bringing. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, Marvel nerd, you name
Yeah.
it, man. I love it. So
Now, I see. I can't go into it anymore because I don't know who else has not. I've seen it, but I don't know who hasn't when they
right,
watch this
right.
video. So I'll at least ask you this question on a side note: Have you seen The Mandalorian on Disney Plus?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
My grandma has Disney Plus. So.
we'll talk about that.
All right,
We can't
all
say it
right.
now because
So,
I don't know who hasn't seen it yet. So,
right, right.
and then the last question is: so, like, what's the music or the band that you're listening to right now? What's got you in a sunny day mood or whatever?
Well, I call myself a music evangelist. It's I listen to everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
literally. I think the only thing I don't listen to is like screamo stuff. I don't
Sure.
listen to that, but I listen to everything else. This COVID thing has actually had all these great artists start releasing all
Mm-hmm.
these, I guess, their albums that they were keeping in the vault, and they just kind of brought them out because they were like, well, we can't get to our studio, so I can't really pinpoint a certain band or a certain singer at this time because, like I said, I listen to everything.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. I agree with you on that. A lot of my favorite artists right now are just releasing music like, bam, here's an album, boom, here's an EP, enjoy it. Because we're at home, we may be outside or at home, but we're listening to music on our AirPods or our, headphones, whatever the case may be. So I
Right.
totally agree with that. Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this interview and kind of getting a small glimpse of Noah Huffman and kind of see what he's about and kind of what he's doing in his life. And so please shoot him a DM on Facebook or Instagram, or if you're on Twitter or TikTok, shoot him one. Just say, hey, we love you. We appreciate you. Give him a shout on the phone, tell his family you love him too. So Noah, thank you so much, man. And I hope you enjoy your day. How sunny is it going to be the next couple of days? The same way?
Well, it's pretty sunny here now, but we got some storms rolling in here pretty soon. So
okay.
So we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, well, you better stay outside and enjoy it. So
Yeah.
Well, hey everybody, thank y'all so much for checking us out, and hopefully you get to see this video pretty soon. See you, though.
See ya.